Hello, let me welcome you to my studio. Today we're going to be making some collage papers and we're going to decorate them. We're going to get started right away. So I have a box and I have a liner underneath. I have a couple of plastic forks for moving them around, a couple of brushes. I've got some water. I have some shimmer sprays that I think are fun. I have some regular sprays that we're going to use. And these are dye-based sprays that are water soluble and they're water reactive. I have some acrylics, and acrylics, once they're dry, they're permanent. And I added a couple of metallics. This one is gold, this one is silver. So we've got those going on. And then I have paper towel and I have some coffee to use. So we're going to be decorating some papers and we're going to be able to use them later in collage or card making or whatever you want. This is a great scrap buster. So moving on. I'm just grabbing some papers. So this is some of the papers that I've got ready. So I'm going to show you as we go along which ones I'm pulling out. But again, this is great for scraps. Okay, let's get started and let's get some scraps in the box. So I'm going to start out with a coffee filter. Coffee filters are stronger, in my opinion, than tissue paper. They don't vanish like tissue paper does when you put them on, but they're very absorbent, so they really give you a punch of color as you're adding it. Some pieces I want bigger, some smaller, so in they go. This is an envelope that has that security inside, so I'm going to put some of those in. And again, some pieces I want bigger, some pieces I want smaller. This is an old advertising thing. And what I want you to notice about these papers that I'm picking out is that they're not shiny. They're not glossy. This is a little bit heavier. I wouldn't call it cardstock, but it's a heavier paper. Again, it's an old advertisement. But the shiny ones, they don't always want to stick. They want to repel the things that we're putting inside. So I've got about 2 layers and that's enough. On my side where you can't see, I do have some dry area where I've got some paper down and I've got some wax paper down so these can dry. So we can do a couple of bins. I'm going to start out with some sprays and I like to start light from dark. So this one is called Pure Sunshine. It's a Dilutions product. So here we go. Using the box, and you'll see we still have some overspray, but that's okay. And I'm going to use this, I think, it's Funky Fuchsia. And so I'm sticking with the pinks and the yellows in this. I don't mix colors that I'm afraid will turn into mud. So I'm going to take my forks, give them a toss. One thing I've learned from making these, you don't have to be so concerned about getting the fronts and the backs. It's okay if you're not getting both sides, but you do want to get at least one side with a nice variety of colors and marks and that kind of thing. So, see, like this guy got hidden. That's okay. All right, let's add some more. I'm going to add some shimmers. I don't want blues. Now, these don't always spray. We'll give it a try, but these need a good cleaning. Okay, this one sprays, but this has a mica in it, so it's going to give us some sparkle. Now I'm going to add some coffee. And I don't have any instant coffee, so I don't have that extra strong. But if you would dribble or pour by accident your coffee cup over your work, it would make marks. Yeah, something would happen. So just adding some of this coffee. And there's that. And now I'm going to add some acrylics. Let's give it another mix. See if we can get, you know, different spots at different times and get them to share their colors a little bit. This is another, look at that coffee filter. It's already beautiful, isn't it? This is so fun. Have fun with this. And as I say, scrap busters, you can do things like leftover pads of paper, you know, those scraps, things you've cut off as you've been doing your makes. Really, you can decorate just about anything in here if it'll take paints and sprays. Okay, so I kind of have an orange going on and a pink going on. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this pink, give it a shake. And this is called Tropical Sangria. So I'm going to add it to my, got some painty paper here. This is like a piece of paper that I use. I'm getting my toothbrush wet. This is a kind of a paper that I use as an under paper and as a mixing tray, and then I rip it up and use it in collage. Okay, here's where the messiness comes. We're gonna get some of this acrylic, and it makes it makes dots, different than the spray that just kind of gives you an overall coverage. This gives you dots. And get some more. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna just drop that right in the water, clean up my hands a little bit. I do have paper towels handy. They're always handy to have. I'm going to wet this brush. It's kind of a soft brush. And I'm going to just pick this up. And I'm just going to mark the papers with it. Not doing anything specific. Just making some marks with the leftover paint. Okay, that's good. Let's get another paint. Let's get yellow. So this is called Lemon Drop. It's got those little shaker beads. And I'm going to put a plop of that. Get that toothbrush. It's not perfectly clean, but that's okay. Get it in here and do it again with some spraying. I got a big drop, but that's okay. Get some other marks. Drop it back in the water and then get that other brush I used and just make some marks. These are just about done. That's how fast it goes. I can use this to kind of move stuff around too. Maybe not. Maybe. There. Okay. Good. Drop it in the water. Wipe my hand off a little bit. I'm going to give it some more shimmer. And again, like I said, these shimmer sprays don't all spray, but we're not going to worry about it. And that happens with shimmer sprays. And I haven't used these in a while, but the mica kind of gets stuck in the works. And so you just need to, sprays. You just need to stick them in a bowl of water, just the tops. Pull them all out, stick them in a bowl of water, and then give them a go. Okay, these look good. So get to know one another, and I'm just going to move these over to the place where I dry them. Get to know each other, talk about art. I hope you're crafting along with me. If you are, tell me what you're doing. And if you're not, well, I hope you enjoy and consider this as a future project because it really is a good scrap buster. Okay, I've just about got this. All right, those are laid out. And here we go, and we're going to start again. You can see how fast this goes. Okay, so we put some of this in. I'm going to put a little bit more. And you can see that this is like a dull kind of a, like I said, it's a heavy paper. I wouldn't call it cardstock. And how about some music note paper? That's always pretty. That's got text. So we'll get some music notes, different shapes, different sizes. I don't have anything specific in mind. One more. How about this? This is grocery bag. And you can use it. Nice and absorbent. That's a weird shape. Let's take these apart. And that one. And that one. I'm trying to make it lay flat. Okay, that's all. You can overload this, and then you're just working twice as hard, and you don't get twice as much. Okay, I'm going to go with blues this time. So I'm going to start out. I think this is, I can never pronounce this, but it's turquoise, Virant. So however you say that. It's really strong. That's what I like about it. And with this, it's kind of a greenish blue, so I'm going to add green. Good. And I'm going to give them a toss. So the reason why I'm working in a box is because these sprays migrate and travel. And if you're not careful, you're spraying the refrigerator, you're spraying the dog, you're spraying your husband. So just be careful and try to contain the spray unless you're working outside. Then you're going to get your deck, the gardens, you name it. I'm just trying to move them around so that different spots get the paints that we're putting on. Now, yellows work with browns and browns. Well, they do work with browns, but they work with greens and blues. So putting a little bit of the yellow on, getting my toothbrush. I'm going to give it a little tap in the paper towel and grab some of this. Give it a go. I realize that you may not see, you see that, the yellow, but that it is getting on there. It wants to make big drops, so let's go with the big drops. Okay. And then I'm going to take that other brush, not that brush, this brush, and grab up the rest of this yellow and just make some marks. Especially where I can see white happening. Good. Yeah. I am deliberately going in places that I see don't have a whole lot going on yet. Wipe my hands. And let's get the shimmers going. Now I've got a blue shimmer. Don't know if it's going to spray. Yes. Okay. And the spraying makes a subtle shine. And it is pretty. Okay, a couple of forks. And try to move these around again if I can. See, I've got some pieces that are hiding underneath that are, see? Bring those to the top. And they'll all be different, but they're kind of in that family of color. You've got to be careful with mixing brown or gray. And it's not a pretty brown or gray. It's a muddy brown or gray. So things like purple and orange, no, don't put those together. Green and pink, no, you're going to get... And it's not a pretty shade. You know it when you see it. You've seen it and you've looked at it and you've said, well, they had some trouble mixing their colors, because it's just a weird muddiness that is, to me, it's not often attractive. I'm trying to get one or two more of these moved around a little bit, but if it gets too tedious, then we're just gonna let it go. Let it go. Oh, how about some coffee? We didn't do coffee. If we did, I don't remember. Get some coffee on here. Okay. And then another color. If I use the same blue, I don't know that it'll show. I'm going to try this green. This green is called Island Parrot. Some of these paints on here are dry, so when you see me putting one color on top of another, they're not mixing. And I'm going to give that guy a dunk and see what he does. It is making flakes. And it's not yellow, it's green. I never know what you see exactly. And everyone's monitor is different. Everyone's computer or phone or whatever you're watching this on is different. So we never know. Okay, I'm going to pick up and make some marks. Okay. I know that you don't see the shimmer quite the same way as I do, but I can tell you this shimmer, I'm not seeing very much. So I want to pick up another bluish or green. Well, this one is just a neutral. Let's give it some of this. I don't know if it'll spray, but we'll give it a go. Yeah. Kind of dribbly, but it's fine for this application. Let it drip. Okay. All right. I think we're done with this one. This one is more wet. Roll it around a little bit. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to go and, again, get to know each other, and I'm going to go set this out to dry. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, I missed my dry paper. That's okay. I'm trying not to plop these right on top of each other, on top of the orange ones, because, again, orange and green, mud. Especially if they mix. Okay. Gotta be faster, Julie. Gotta be faster. These are really sticking. They're really pretty, though. I wish you could see what I see. Okay. There we go. We're going to do one more. And what do I use these on? Well, I've got some finished that I'll show you that are dry already. But I wanted to make a few more, so I decided to bring you along. Let's get some more papers. Something different. All right, I've got some different things going on. All right, this is text, like book page. And I want some pieces bigger, some pieces smaller. And then this is from a book also, but it had some little, see, like this little bit of leaves, just to get some different elements going on. Boy, long and skinny. All right, and then the last thing I'm going to add, this is, didn't tear it out quite well, so turned into a scrap for me. This is some mixed media paper, and it's not a high quality. It's a good quality. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do, but it's some mixed media are almost like watercolor paper, but this isn't that. I'll make some smaller ones. Okay, so one more round. We did oranges, we did blues. What else can we do? Reds you have to be careful with, because reds, we'll try it, but you have to be careful because it can look like blood. And I mean, I don't mean to be offensive, but when you see like red drops and red splats and red, you get the idea. So I'm going to add this red, and it's really kind of a Tuscan red. It's a warm red, and I've got another one. This one is, this one's called Fiery Sunset, and the first one I used, that's not it. Maybe it is. This one was Pink Flamingo. Nah. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Here we go. Add some of this. Because, I mean, red is pretty in our work, isn't it? All right, so the closest to red I have, I think, is this. And it's called Peony Blush, but you'll see it's in the red family. Reddish to pinkish. And I'll add another yellow. This yellow is called Lemon Zest. It's going to warm up that pink. Make it more orangish, which I think this is getting low, so when I'm tipping it, it's not the, all right, the bottom, it's not in the bottom anymore, so that's okay. I've got another one. This one is called Lemon Custard, but it's kind of in the yellow family as well. We'll add some of that. Good. Give it a bit of a mix. Aren't you amazed at how much white still remains on some of these after all that? Look, that's why I like to move them around a little bit, get some different areas showing. I'm going to take that toothbrush and give it a good rinse because I used blues and greens. So I want to get as much of that off as possible and go in and wet. And we'll start with that orangish color. It's kind of an orange red. And this is pretty loose because my brush is pretty wet. These paints are really on the more thick side, and when you're using acrylics, be careful how much water you add, because what you do is you kind of change the molecular structure by adding lots and lots of water, and you can change the chemistry of what causes acrylics to stick, and it will flake off. So be careful when adding, and as we move along, I can show you other ways to thin down acrylics without damaging that property, but it's not with water. Okay, this is that other red, and I'm just gonna make some marks here and there, random, just to give it another look, another texture. Okay, and I'm gonna hit this one more time with some of that yellow, and I think I want that, what is this one, Pure Sunshine? Sure, we'll go for that. And then we need to add some shimmer. So here is, in the orange family, some shimmer. And get that mica and that shine going. Okay. Now, instead of making you wait till I set this aside, I'm just gonna, oh, coffee. Were you guys saying to me, coffee, coffee? I bet you were. Add some coffee. And it's gonna add, again, a different flavor, a different texture. Okay. All right, like I said, I'm not gonna make you wait. I'm just gonna go ahead and move this and I can put it to dry later. And let me show you some I've done. This is what they look like when they're done. So you can see, here's a green one. And I don't know if you can pick up on the shimmer. Another green and yellow. And here's a purple. And if you have paper that's on a tablet, leave those on. That really adds some visual texture, some visual interest. Here's another one that's in the pink and purples. And then I did make some oranges. I don't know if you can really see, there's some gold going on that one. And as you can see, different sizes, different types of paper. Oranges. And you can use these in collage. You can use them in card making. I just wanted to pull out, this is a coffee filter. So it's got a crinkly texture. But I think that's pretty. Okay, so I hope you consider doing this. This isn't an original idea, but it is something I've done before. But Gail Agostinelli, go to her videos. She does this. And then also Louise Hines. She's another YouTube creator, and she's done. But everyone's got their own little twist. But you can get some other ideas on how to create these collage papers. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again. If you learned anything or if you found this inspirational, please consider giving me a like and subscribe. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for joining me. Bye.